There's one question that you need to ask. And if you don't ask this question, regardless of who you are, how successful, how intelligent, how brilliant you are, how good you are, you're going to suffer. A year later, a few years later, a decade later, long it takes, more suffering is going to cause. Now that question is, where am I heading? Where am I heading in my life? Now I'm going to categorize it into 7 categories. So take this as an absolute gift. If you're new to this channel, you're warmly welcome. And all the viewers who've been there with me forever. So this is a gift. And it's almost like a mini session. Obviously my sessions are much deeper than this, but take it as like a mini session. I want you to grab a book and a pen and do this exercise with you, and you're going to thank me later, and thank me a lot later. So the thing is, now a lot of people that I've seen in my life, unfortunately they have now left this human life a long time ago. They were very skillful, they're smart, intelligent, generous, good, wonderful people also. But unfortunately they had to pay ultimate penalty. They had to leave this gifted human life only because they didn't ask this question early enough. And you're gonna explore and you're gonna learn why and how. So for that matter, this is absolutely important, critical, regardless of who you are. You could be an entrepreneur, you could be corporate leader or executive, a student, artist, doesn't matter. You have to ask this question. And from this day onwards, for the next 12 months, plan your date. I don't know what day you're going to watch this video. Regardless, just ask these questions. And soon after this video, I want you to spend at least another half an hour. You're probably commuting while watching this video, doesn't matter. But at least within 24 hours, schedule it, put it in your calendar and ask this question, and you're only going to be extremely delighted the fact that you did this. All right, so let's begin. Number one question that I'm going to ask is, which something that I do actually end of each year. I categorize it into 7 categories and I ask myself, and ideally you should ask this question every 3 months. Okay, so at least visit this peripherally for every 3 months, and every year spend at least a couple of hours. If you're spending less than 2 hours, you should know that's not enough. You haven't got this idea properly. So number one question is health and fitness. Where am I heading with my current level of health and fitness? That's health and fitness. Now there are a lot of fit people that I've seen. A lot of military people surrounded me, in my family also. They're fit. They could push a car by themselves, and they can carry a log and throw it like nothing. But then I've seen so many people have actually failed their health and died. The number one thing is actually not fitness. I'm so fond of fitness. I grew up in an environment like that, and I'm still to date. I lift heavy, I do martial arts, I do sprinting and all sorts of things. But the number one thing in life, intelligently, is health, meaning your body in good order. There's no point of if you can carry a log and throw it if your liver has failed. All right? So health obviously is going to connect to nutrition, food. So the food choices you make, it creates your fate. So you have to ask this question, with the current level of food that I'm taking, the nutrition that I'm taking inside of my body, putting in my body, where am I heading with it in about 1 year's time? Now it's a very tempting world that we are living in. It's so much of, thanks to social media, it can be used in extremely positive like this, but a lot of the time it's extremely negative as well. It's a very hedonistic lifestyle that they are promoting. The pull is extremely strong, tempting, and extremely smart as well. So because the thing is that with the social media, unlike those days when you have only TV and radio, unlike those days, now you have so much of data of your behavior, you personally, your behavior. So entire algorithm will readjust in a way to keep yourself in that platform. If you show a little bit of interest to that fatty burger, guess what's going to do? It's going to show a lot of that. So long time ago, you only see in a TV advert or a cutout by the roadside or when you go past that restaurant. Now you see about 30 times, probably in the next 30 minutes. So it's a very hedonistic lifestyle, very strong. So you need to call your shots way before it's gonna call shot over you. So ask this question: what food am I eating, and where am I heading with this? So then replace with proper nutrition. Simple advice for nutrition is don't make it complex, make it protein rich, have good clean carbs like rice, for instance, not a lot of rice. So I eat about 60 grams to 100 grams of rice maximum, and sweet potatoes, cassava, so good carb. And clean your house, clean all the sugary stuff. For the cakes, if the cakes is lying around in your fridge, obviously you can't help it, so clean it. And in my house it's pretty difficult to find sugar, a little bit of sugar also, right? So we have cleaned all of that. The thing is that if you want a cheat meal, like a fatty, sugary, unhealthy meal, just to satisfy taste buds, if you do that once in 2 weeks, what we have seen is just one meal in 2 weeks. What I have observed was that it generally flushed from your system in about a couple of days' time. So you're okay. But if you're gonna have fatty food, even a little bit of fatty food, few times a week, your body is going to store it, and then you're going to continue that on week after week after week, right? So 1 year fast forward, you're going to have extra pounds of fat, and it's going to slow you down. You're going to feel lethargic, lazy. You're going to lose your energy to do a lot of things, including your intimate lifestyle. If you want to build your business, you can't focus. You feel sleepy. You pant now. You can't enjoy the good things in life like trekking, walking, even standing up, watching something in a musical concert. You're tired. So it's gonna take everything down. It's going to tear everything apart. So health is absolutely number one priority. I work about 12 to 14 hours a day. Still, I hit the gym, and that's the first thing that I do. I do meditation early in the morning. Soon after that, I hit the gym, because I know if I don't do that, I won't get another chance. I go to gym and I lift. I do yoga, and I do a couple of days of martial arts as well. So if I can do that, I'm absolutely sure you can work it around. Second question, guys, is very important one. Fulfillment. Are you fulfilled at least most of the time with the things that you're doing? I'm not saying you'll be fulfilled 100% of the time, me neither, but at least 80 to 90% of your work has to be fulfilling. The reason why I have to venture out slightly into a spiritual element, your original state, who are you originally, is actually a blissful state. Another session or another video coming up later on about this, explaining properly, but it's a blissful state. It's very blissful, happy. It has no sadness, it has no fear, it has no boundaries, it has no doubts, it has no limits. That's your original state. Your soul constantly seeking that state and constantly failing because we are going about in a wrong way. So that's what I mentioned in Vajrayana Buddhism, a little bit of in Theravada Buddhism. That's why I got it tattooed, Prabhasara Chitta, the original state. Now, your work, if it is not fulfilling, you're very far from that original state. This is the difference. This is the problem with this. So, I know you might say, like, I have this situation, I'm doing this job that I hate, I don't like it at all. Look, we all have a choice. Every single one of us have a choice. You need to have courage to make that choice. You want to have a lot of money and living in misery, or a little bit of less money and have a lot of happiness, joy, with what you're doing. Like I said, you can't expect to be always happy, jolly good time with your work. I have to put a lot of discipline to get these doing. I have 2 YouTube channels, one in my local language, one in this one English, and we have a huge mission ahead this year. A lot of programs, courses coming up, and my live coaching engagements going on. I have my family duties to do, my spiritual practices to do. So you have a lot of discipline in place. I don't think that I'm if am I happy? I don't ask this question, and it's just that, and I know for a fact that end of the week turn around, I know I'm very very fulfilled. I'm very fulfilled the fact that I actually did that. So this is where I want you to ask this question: are you fulfilled at the end of this week? Ask this question and make alterations because of a certain situation. If you're doing a certain job that you don't like because of a financial requirement, a family crisis, that's fine. I totally understand. But I want you to have an exit plan. I'm going to do this for 1 year, 2 years, and I'm out. And this is exactly what I'm going to do 2 years later. Within that time also, it's a long time. Okay, so add attributes in your life. Now you're doing something that you don't like, let's say 80% of the thing that you don't like, fine. Then certain attributes like, for example, yoga, meditation, gratitude is absolutely paramount during this time. You have to do at least a couple of times gratitude. And for the fact that you have a lot of things going good for you, right? You have eyes, you can hear me, you can talk, you have hands, legs, you have good health. Man, there's a ton of blessings there. So you need to do gratitude. Yoga, journaling. And if you know how to play a musical instrument, I want you to grab that, clean it up, start playing it at least for 5-10 minutes. Painting, working out is absolutely important, at least for 10-15 minutes. You don't have time to go to gym because of the situation. Just go down, do push-ups, do 250 push-ups, push yourself to few sets. That's really good. That's superb. I'm going to salute you for doing that. So yoga, going to do a lot of things. It's going to relieve your past trauma to a lot of things in your system. So incorporate this while you're in that situation and have an exit plan and come out of it and find fulfillment in your life, in your work. Number 3, your finances. Money cannot resolve everything, but money can resolve all the money problems. So I want you to set a good goal, a good target that gives you enough means for you to have a comfortable life. You need to define it in your own way. One of the tips that I can give is don't make it complex. All the successful people have a very simple way of life. They have a lot of money. Later on, they started buying stupid shit. They started buying all these silly things, which doesn't add them value because they have a lot of money now. But before that, they actually had a very simple lifestyle. So if you have a means to travel, now we are heading in a time that a lot of the metropolises that you don't even need a vehicle to drive. Like some of the cities that I've been travel, you order a Uber, it's there in like less than 1 minute every single time. So if you love driving like myself, you can aim to buy a vehicle. My advice is for the youth out there, I wouldn't go for a big house especially in your early part of your life. Have a apartment or a smaller house, single story house or an apartment, which you don't have to worry about so many things. I remember my older generation, they're so focused, so consumed about the fact that the grass has grown so much. So they spend half an hour trimming it, and then they have walls, the flowers, and the balconies, and the list goes on. It takes about a couple of hours for them to get their morning routine done. So we have gone far from it. We don't have time for that crap anymore. The world is moving very fast. There's so many opportunities for you for self-actualization. So when you're in good health, good spirit, good energy, make the most of it. So I would minimize, make it simple. Couple of bedroom or whatever, if you have a large family, accordingly, get an apartment. You can close it up. There's a security guard, there's safety, everything is fine, and you go. And the other thing is you can travel so much as well. So keep your finances and cut off the things that doesn't really add value to yourself right now. Probably you have so many subscriptions that going out for nothing, and so many parties, events that actually not really adding much value to your life anymore. So find joy in reading books, watching podcasts like this, developing yourself, etc. So I'm going to come to that in a little further. So finances, but the thing is, you definitely need to have a high target. A lot of the people in the subcontinent think, oh, it must be greed. It must be greed. You got the money from the wrong end. You see only few people who are doing all these nefarious activities to keep their finances or become rich, and they make a big noise. You think that's who I'm going to be. I don't want to be. There are so many incredible, wonderful human beings on earth. I know so many of them who actually use money in really, really good means, and they have a very good life. So I want you to have high standards. If you believe that you are a righteous person, great person, I want you to have a high standard, whatever the standard that you have, 10x it. That will give you a direction for you to do better in your skill, whatever the trade skill that you have. You need to develop great communication skills, otherwise you won't be able to go anywhere in this world. You need to have great discipline, you have good purpose, and when you have a lot of money, you can do a lot of things, you can give away a lot. We'll come to that in a second. So I want you to have that standard because it's just gonna make you a great person, very useful person. Next, number 4 is relationships. Ask this question. The way I am leading my relationships, where is this heading? Am I giving good quality time for my loved ones, for my romantic life, for my children, for my parents, and with my colleagues? What sort of relationship that I am actually building and I already built with them? Where is this heading? It's going to crash or it's going to prosper? Ask this question, you know the answer then. Write the answer and make changes. It'll shed light into your life suddenly, and I want you to make changes appropriately. One of the simple advice that I can give is, whenever you are with anybody, with your loved ones, with your children, with your colleagues, anybody, give your fullest presence. Give your fullest presence. So quality over quantity. There's no point of hanging out so many times, but if you're scrolling down, if you're answering phone calls and you're so super distracted and your partner is just watching you. So that half an hour, 20 minutes with that person, whoever, be 100% full. Turn your mobile upside down so you can't see the screen, put it in silent, give that quality time, and then you're out. Then comes knowledge. The thing is, I've seen so many, the reason why I've included this, I've seen so many guys, so many seniors who are boasting about their achievements, the things that they've learned, things that they have explored in 1960s, 1970s. We went there, we ventured out and learned that. We went to this state, this place, and we learned this. I got my trade qualifications, blah, blah, blah. That was bloody 1970s. Now it's 1990s, 20 years. They haven't done anything at all. So ask yourself, where am I heading with this kind of a knowledge? Am I still relevant, or am I going to be outdated, or am I outdated with this present world? At this time of recording this video in 2025 January, a lot of the people who thought they're smart, who thought they're intelligent, who thought they're well read will be out of the game just because they are not updated. The technology, the economic trends, the Gen Z is coming into the workforce by 2030. Majority of your workforce is going to be Gen Z. So you need to know their behavior. Their behavior is very different to the Gen X, the millennials, and etc. So many attributes are different. So there are good and pluses and minuses there. Economic space is changing. India is on a whole different momentum. China is a different momentum. US is on the way down. Any empire lasts about 250 years in this modern history. So you need to understand all of things and moving forward. And logistically, if you're running a business, the movements are getting less and less and less. If you're still running the business in traditional way, it's not going to be good old traditional way. It's going to be very bad because unfortunately you'll have to close down your business if you don't stay relevant. So knowledge, upgrade your knowledge. So in that, you need to understand, okay, these are the books that I've read about finances, economics, human behavior, etc. And also, if you're very weak in sales and marketing, there's no chance that you can take your business forward in this new world. There could be one young guy who doesn't know 1/10 of what you know, doesn't have any experience, no track record, but he or she is going to beat you outright. He'll kick you out of the market because that person is a updated fool. Do you want to be defeated by an updated fool? This is where we're heading. So ask yourself, where's my knowledge? And number 6, spirituality. So like I said at the beginning, we are here to find our blissful state. That's our original state. In that journey, you have certain things that you need to fulfill, certain desires, certain needs need to fulfill to a certain extent, not overly, but certain extent. And then everything has to point towards your spiritual enlightenment. Also, I said, it's a very hedonistic life. All these technologies, all this social media, and because of the smartphone and all these billion-dollar apps that you have is created to pull you and keep there on the app. And guess what's happening there is a very hedonistic life. So it's excessive hedonistic or overindulgence. Buddhism explains, is a path to defilement. So you need to have overindulgence. You need to understand, am I overindulging? I'll give you an example. The older generation that I see in subcontinent, all over subcontinent, they're so consumed by the soap opera. They watch about a couple of hours. What I've learned was they watch about a couple of hours soap opera a day. So this is looking at 60 hours a month, 720 hours a year. Had you just cut it half, 360 hours, you could have learned yoga. Even if you say, oh, I can't bend so much, you could have actually really learned it and finally bend yourself and extend your lifetime. And go deep in Buddhism, Abhidharma, learn Abhidharma. Go deep in Vedanta, understand it, learn it. See, you have actually gone past dying young, so well done. Now you're wasting your life for what? So understand that. And secondly, for the youth, now you are severely consumed by watching Netflix marathons or playing games excessively, scrolling down TikToks excessively, because all those things are extremely addictive. Like I said, I repeat, those are billion-dollar businesses. Keep their business running. So cut it by half. I didn't say eliminate it. It doesn't work, I know, because the whole noise and the pull is super strong. You need to give a little bit. So for me, I watch a movie. There are no good movies. We grew up in 90s. We saw all this super top class movies. So I watch about 3 to maximum 4 movies a year. I think it was 3 movies last year. That was it. And if I want to watch something, a TV series, I don't watch TV series. I get super bored. And I watched a really cool documentary. I watched a documentary of Arnold Schwarzenegger in Netflix. I thought it was pretty cool. Something like that. That's like once a week. Some of the time, not even once a week. It happens about once in 2 weeks. The rest of the time, I have plenty of joy in reading books and enhancing my knowledge. That's incredible pleasure that I take. So, whatever the spiritual life that you want to develop, that resonates in your heart, you have it. You've got it. The universe is watching you, given the opportunity. What the hell are you doing? So, focus on that. People say you don't have time for meditation. I guess you have. Check your screen time. Check your screen time. And it'll tell you the time that you actually had. It's all the same things, isn't it? You go on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all the same thing. Either some very sexual content, right? Either some very other hedonistic stuff, vehicles, food, clothes, some stuff like that. You're not missing out anything. Even if you watch it once a month, you're not missing out anything. It's the same crap anyway. But this is what you do to enhance your spirituality. It's incredible. That's the best gift that you can do. You're only going to be super, super delighted the fact that you did that. The last question that you need to ask is, where am I heading with my generosity? Charity. When was the last time you did some considerable charity? And what was that? Now, how frequently have you done that? And where are you heading with that? Because you are so pillaged. You understand that there are 150 million people on earth are homeless. They're not in a position to do charity. There are millions of people are blind. Millions of people are crippled. Millions of people can't understand anything. Their brain doesn't work. Millions of people are dying as we speak because of certain diseases, in war, etc., etc. Do you realize how incredibly fortunate we are? We're given that opportunity for a reason. I want you to set aside. How I do is I give 10% of my income to charity. My YouTube income, 100% goes to charity. And I have incredible fulfillment. I turn around, I feel incredibly good. So the fulfillment is a whole different level there. And it gives you a better purpose. It gives you incredible energy because it's beyond yourself. There's a lot of neurological explanations there as well, spiritually massive explanations there. So I want you to ask, what am I giving? If you are watching this video in a time that all your money is just taken out for your expenses, again, have an exit plan and think, I'm not going to have this kind of a lifestyle 6 months from now, 12 months from now. That's that. And secondly, until then, a lot of people think, oh, I have this problem, I have this loan, I have this thing, so I'm waiting to do charity. Don't do that mistake. You have your energy, you have your skill. So you can give your time. You can go to a monastery, you can go to any charitable organization, children, etc., and help them. Give your hours, time, energy, 2, 4, 6, 8 hours a month, one day. So I want you to decide, how am I going to lead my life in this thing called giving and charity. And as humans, we should be aiming to give more, share more, love more. That's what it is. Again, it's everything is centralized, everything is interconnected. So your fulfillment, your original state, everything is connected with this. A lot of unsaid things as well. I'm not gonna venture into that. A lot of unsaid things. Because it's gonna revolve around unnecessary attachment with charity as well. So I'm gonna talk about that. It's just I believe, and I thoroughly stand by the fact that it's your obligation that you have to give. If you're a human being, if your body is functioning, if you have enough means to live, you have to give something back to this earth, and that's your obligation. And if you do that, you'll be rewarded, and be rewarded by the universe. That's what it is. I want you to do it and see. If you are an atheist, a lot of atheists that I know through my other networks, that they don't believe in a lot of things. They question everything. But guess what they do? One thing. They give. And they've told us that there's something else that in it when you give. The usual norm is when you give, you get it in back. Forget that. Instantly, the energy, the fulfillment, the purpose that you feel is incredible. So I want you to incorporate that. These are the 7 questions that I want you to ask as early as possible. Like I said, it doesn't matter. You're not late. If you're watching this, you've been gifted, you've been blessed. So whatever the day that you're watching, write this down. Soon after this video, I want to spend some considerable time and set your tone for the rest of the year. And once you build a momentum like that, it becomes habit, becomes a part of your character. That momentum is going to take you all the way to glory. 1 year from now, you're going to be extremely delighted, ecstatic, the fact that you asked these questions. And 10 years from now, man, you feel like these questions saved your entire soul. So I'm going to wish you all the best. I'll speak to you very, very soon. Live with spirit.